construction project from the university.
Right. I serve there at the University of Iowa in facilities management. I manage construction projects across campus. This was one of the projects I was actually to serve on. Great project. Some of the things that you'll notice, and I mentioned to the other group as well, is that if you remember back to the Jacobson facility, when you were in there, that had a very intimate setting, maybe is a good way to describe it. You know, you had the racetrack feel with the offices around it, and then where the team meeting room was is where you held your press conferences and things like that. Very intimate, very tight. So we took from that and said, as we went to other facilities around the nation, is that what do we really want this facility to be? And one of the things that we decided is we wanted to bring in a lot of natural light. So you can see that evident behind you here with these clerestory windows, bringing in natural light from the outside, using very open finishes, the terrazzo, the light maple, things like that to kind of brighten it up and make it more open and inviting, rather than have it being more of an enclosed and intimate setting. So you'll see that in and around the space. To the other group, I also mentioned that one of the things that was important to this team, to this group, was the audiovisual component. And so we had a construction contract and we had an audiovisual contract to install, and as you go through, you'll see those devices, and as a part of that were the construction means and methods as to how to make that happen. So we went through a lot of detail in terms of being able to create construction methods so that sound transmission wouldn't be leaking into areas where they shouldn't be. So as you get around and we see the classrooms, you'll see that there would be potential, as maybe one coach was working with the running backs, another working with, you know, the offensive line or such. We didn't want information and sound bleeding back and forth. So a lot of what we did, you know, installing gasketing in and around doors, wall construction types, mineral wool in between them, actually the stud density, the height of the stud, how high the insulation went. There's a grommeting system that actually has a rubber grommet behind the sheetrock that attaches to a hat channel, so that as sound hits that sheetrock and starts to go through it, hits the rubber, densifies it, and it doesn't let it transmission back to the stud, back to the next space. So there's a lot that went on into the design of this, detail-wise, to try and make it the facility it is today. But again, some of the main things were just the openness about it, and then trying to limit that sound noise in the AV, and really trying to bring us back up to the next level. Jacobson served us well as a facility for many years, but it was time to really up the game. And early on, there was discussion about having Jacobson renovated instead of building a new facility. And really those plans were abandoned fairly early as they realized it kind of hit its stage, and let's go on to the next thing. And so that's what this came of. One thing you might want to note, when you do walk out to the parking lot, if you look back at this window, today as you look out right now, it's clear, you see nothing. But when you look back from the parking lot, you will see a tiger hawk in this glass. It's actually a pixelation that's actually impregnated into the glass itself. So if you walk up, you can slightly see these little dots in each one of the glass. And so what we've done is created a natural view back out to Kinnick, which I think is going to be really phenomenal on game day. If you can imagine the tailgating, the pageantry, and all the other things that go on, and you bring in a 16-year-old recruit in here with his parents to see what's happening with Iowa football, that image is going to be pretty spectacular. But we didn't want to obstruct that with the Tiger Hawk, so when you look out from the outside, you can see that image, so it still carries through what this facility is all about. So there's a lot of details along that as well. This room particularly, I think, is probably one of the nicest showcase spaces that I've actually been a part of in terms of construction. Very nice finishes, very well thought out, and it's worked well, I think, for many, as it serves the multi-purpose for many different occasions. I don't know if we want to work our way